Okay, so let's just be honest for a second. When you hear the word networking, what comes to mind? And for a lot of us, it's kind of cringy, right? Uncomfortable. Awkward conversations, a pocket full of business cards, sweaty hands. It feels like a nerve-wracking chore, but what if you've been looking at it completely wrong? What if networking isn't just something you do, but something you actually build? An asset that's just as vital to your business as your products or your customers. I mean, here's a direct question for you. Are you really treating your network like your most powerful asset? I mean, think about it. In the last week, how much intentional time did you invest in your network? Now compare that to the time you spent on marketing or sales or product development. It's a tough question, I know, but answering it honestly is the first step to a huge shift in how you grow, and that leads us right into the core idea here, making a foundational mindset shift. Hi everyone, this is Steve Black with another Let's Talk Referrals podcast, and this week I'm talking about networking being one of your top business assets. And this is all about seeing your network as a living, breathing business asset. It is about moving away from just random socializing and attending a few chamber mixers towards intentional, strategic relationship building. So the old way is sporadic. It's jumping into an event because you have to or you think you have to, and it's totally transactional. What can I get? Or it's a way to connect with people that you've met in the past and you want to keep up to date with, but it's not really planned, right? See, the business asset way is an intentional investment. It's systematic. It's about the long haul. It's built on real relationships. You're not just collecting contacts. You're building genuine capital. The keywords in this scenario are repeatable skill. This isn't about being some super charismatic extrovert. It's about having a system, a process for treating your network as a living asset that grows in value right alongside everything else in your business. It's a core part of your operations, not an afterthought. Your network should be a living asset growing alongside your customers and your products. Your network isn't some separate task you get to do when you have extra time, which for most of us is never, right? It's supposed to be integrated and growing just as intentionally as your customer list or your product line. It's all part of the same ecosystem. So if your network is this incredible asset, how does its value actually grow? It's not just about cramming more names onto a list. Like any great investment, its value compounds over time. So let's talk about the engine that makes that happen. The engine for this compounding growth is fueled by three simple but incredibly powerful components. The first is consistency. The second, a long-time mindset. And three, small investments. When you get these three things right and the effort you put in starts to multiply all by itself. It's a formula and it works. I've seen my members and connections pass referrals worth millions of dollars because of the investment they make in treating networking as a system, not as a task when you have time. Now let's talk about these three separate components. First up, consistency. This is probably the most important part. And I'm not talking about spending hours and hours networking every day. Think smaller, way smaller. To start with, just 30 minutes a week blocked off in your calendar and treated like a non-negotiable meeting. That consistent targeted outreach will create a compounding effect that turns into a reliable flow of referrals. Showing up at one great conference or giant conference a year just doesn't hold a candle to the power of those small, consistent weekly check-ins. It's the steady drumbeat that builds momentum, not the occasional big event. Next, you have to play the long game. If you're desperate for customers right now, you need to do advertising. And if you're go into this looking for a quick sale or an instant win, you're going to be disappointed. It's all about reciprocity, giving value freely without keeping a scorecard and having an abundance mindset. You have to believe there's plenty of success to go around because that's what attracts the real connectors to you. And finally, small investments. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, think about it this way. Every time you send a thoughtful email, share a helpful article, or make an introduction for two people who could benefit from knowing each other, you're making a small deposit into your social capital bank. The introduction might take you 5 minutes, but it creates massive goodwill. You are consistently and deliberately shaping what people say about you when you're not around, and that is one of the most valuable assets you will ever own. Okay, so I've covered the mindset and the engine, but what's the actual payoff? What's the return on this investment? Let's talk about your networking's ROI. See, the real tangible results that actually affect your bottom line, your investment generates 3 main forms of leverage. It generates predictable leads and referrals. You get strategic support and some shortcuts, and a rock-solid reputation with social proof built in. Let's break down what each of those look like. First, you can turn referrals from a random stroke of luck into a reliable, predictable pipeline of new business. And when you have a system for nurturing your network, you're not just sitting back and hoping for a referral. You're actively engineering a steady stream of highly qualified leads who already trust you before you've even set foot in the door. And the value of those leads could be huge. Look at the credibility gap. A lead from a cold ad or a search on Google starts at absolutely zero. They have no idea who you are. You have to build all that trust from scratch. But a network referral that comes in with a mountain of credibility already baked into it. That trust gets transferred from your contact that did the introduction past the referral straight to you. And it makes selling so much easier. Second, your network becomes your ultimate strategic shortcut. You need a great accountant, a reliable web developer, a new supplier. Instead of wasting weeks vetting strangers on the internet, you can send one message to your trusted network and potentially get connected to proven people in the same day or less. It saves an unbelievable amount of time, saves a lot of money, and could save you a lot of headaches. And finally, as your network's value compounds, so does your reputation. This becomes incredibly powerful social proof. Your network is out there telling your story for you. People hear good things about you from people they trust, and that makes everything in business easier, from closing deals to negotiating better contracts. So, we've seen the mindset, we've seen how it works, and we've seen the payoff. Now it's time to actually do something. Let's talk about making that first small investment to get the compounding engine started. I want you to just let this sink in for a moment. This is everything I've talked about boiled down to its simplest form. Your network is an asset. It's not a to-do list. It's not a social chore. It's a living, growing, valuable part of your business. So you need to invest in it. So that brings me to the final question, or the action point if you like. And it's not just something to think about. It's something for you to do. I want you to pull up your calendar for this week. If it's the end of the week, pull it up for next week. Where can you block off just 30 minutes on your calendar? Who can you reach out to? What value can you offer someone with no strings attached? What is the one small investment you're going to make to kickstart that compounding engine? And then make it a recurring meeting on your calendar every week. The best time to invest in your network was years ago. The next best time is right now. Let me know how much time you intend to invest in your network each week in the comments below. This is Steve Black with the Let's Talk Referrals podcast. Thanks for listening.